So yeah, it was wild. I was just sitting there watching the Mariners game, and out of nowhere, Dustin got the zoomies, and he jumped out of his habitat and through the window.
Through the glass?
What did you do?
Yeah, yeah. Well, what do you think I did? I freaking patched up the window. I went and got my freaking rabbit. I fed him some carrots, and I went on with my day.
Oh, good.
Mariners won.
He deserved those carrots.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, hey, welcome back. Didn't see you there. Schaafy on pop here. Got Schaafy. As you can see, we have Jenni G in Jenni's corner, and we brought back one of our crowd favorites, one of the best people we've ever had on the show, somebody who gets us more likes than Donnie. We brought back Fern. Welcome back, Fern. Going to give you a little round of applause.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me back.
I know, I'm so excited. She just flew in from an exotic location, and boy, are her arms tired. I'm just punny today. I'm just punny. I am so glad that you're here. We have some really big announcements to make. As always, so glad that you're here with us, Jenni G, as well. Jenni G is on her like fifth cup of coffee. She's just kicking butt.
She's ready.
She's
ready.
kicking butt and taking names. And does coffee for me can actually kind of put me to sleep. And I was going to tell you both about an article that I read on sciencealert.com that said that needing 8 hours of straight sleep is, for lack of a better term, bullshit. And I don't know if you're aware of this, but for most of human history, it was common to sleep in two separate blocks rather than continuous 8 hour stretch. Did you know that?
No,
Yeah.
I always thought that was just my anxiety.
Yeah, I hate that I'm going to hit the laugh button on
That's okay.
We're going to laugh at your plight, Fern.
That's okay. I do it all the time.
Yep. Jenni G, did you know that it was common to sleep?
I did not, but I typically sleep probably about 5-6 hours. So, but then I'll go like through stretches where I'll sleep like a whole day.
Oh,
Fair enough.
I wish.
Well, back in the day, they used to do this, and it all kind of started changing around the 20th century when people started having jobs, right? And having to do things with specific blocks of time. But the pattern was called biphasic or segmented sleep. So basically, it involved a first sleep of about 3 to 4 hours, and then followed by an hour of two of wakefulness. And this is often called the watch. Okay. And then you get a second sleep until dawn. How it worked, you'd basically just go to sleep shortly after the sunset, just for a few hours. You'd wake up for your wake period around midnight, and people back in the day, they would wake calmly, just on their own. Sometimes to stoke a fire, which you camp a lot, right? So you just kind of wake up, you stoke the fire. They would check on their animals, they would pray, they would read by candlelight, or, and this was interesting, we found that was actually a time where they would have sex. I know Jenni G's
Way to
ears
keep
perked
healthy.
up.
Well,
Yeah.
what else are you gonna
Yeah,
do?
what
Healthy
else?
and happy.
I'm like, well, I'm awake.
It's cold. It's dark.
Yep. I'm hard as a rock. Let's go for it. Well, and then I laughed because I was like, okay, so they're going to do that. They smoke a cigarette or whatever they have close to them, and then they go back to sleep, the
Yep.
second sleep. And then
is
they
the
would,
second sleep the longest stretch.
so yeah, you would basically just sleep until sunrise.
It's,
So
yeah, definitely
yeah.
the most restful.
Yeah.
it's the most restful. And I just thought it was like the coolest thing. And I was reading, so the article and others like it, because I went down this Dustin hole, if you will.
rabbit hole.
Yeah, thanks.
I love
That
it.
joke didn't land in pre-show. But don't worry, folks. I coached the ladies up, and now we're good to
You
go.
just had to explain it.
Yeah, they have to explain it. He's my rabbit.
I love it.
And so Dustin S. Bunny Esquire, I went down this Dustin hole, and I was reading all about this, and this watch hour was, because that's the thing. I was like, what are people doing? Okay, I get it. They're having sex, but what if you're single or you don't have a significant other? Shout out to Schaafy's mystery lady. And they don't live with you, right? What do you do? So I found that like sometimes people were very creative, and there was a theory there that Mozart had written some of his symphonies and things of that nature during this watch hour, and that it was often used like writers and stuff like that. So with that being said, I wrote this episode last night during the watch.
Mhm.
And because I wanted to I wanted to test the theory, and I'm not going to lie to you. It freaking worked because I ended up with like 13 pages of material that I had to boil down. It was at a 20 font. Look, so it's
Well,
probably
that's
more like,
kind of cool because if you think about it, that's the point where you have no like there's nobody around you, right? So it's your own thoughts.
right.
So you have nobody's influence around you.
Yeah.
So
Way to
kinda
be
makes
on
sense.
par with
Kinda makes
today's.
sense.
I love that because you're on par with today's unpopular opinion, which we're going to get into. But you're right. This is also something, and I know you can relate to this. Not to put all your business, but so ADHD, right? We love having those times at night where the world is shut off. We have no worries, no anxieties. It's just us. That's our quiet time.
It's when our brain gets nice and quiet.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we can do whatever we want. And I chose to write a podcast episode. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because there, we're kind of melding these options on this podcast. It's an ever growing and evolving podcast, right? We're all about progressing and getting better. And so we're trying to meld the freestyle with the facts and making sure that it's clear and it's a good content to put out because we're really trying to help people. And so if this leans a little bit more towards the scripted side and I feel a little bit long-winded, it's because I tested a theory about being creative at freaking midnight to 2 a.m. So with that being said, we're going to get into our huge announcements. We have number one right off the bat. Fern is a recent college graduate. Yay!
I did it.
Congratulations, Fern. The show, we got you a gift. It's junk food.
Oh,
Yay, Fern! Here's some pink cookies.
Oh, I love it. Thank
Yep.
you very much.
We know how much you love to have junk food on the trail, and how that's one of your guilty pleasures is having a little sweet treat.
You know what I'm going to do with these? I'm going camping after this. I'm going to sit in my hammock and eat some of these.
You're going to eat some
I
of
love
them.
that.
That's
Mhm.
perfect.
in my hammock.
And
That's-
it's a beautiful day.
It's from the show. I know that you saw them down there earlier.
You saw me eyeballing.
I
it,
saw you
you're like,
eyeballing them. In the pre-show, I skipped over that I was going to hand them to you because now it's a surprise. I got your genuine reaction. And before we get in, because I wanted to ask you about this theory that I have about this watch hour and the sleeping in segments, because, being a college graduate, I'm sure that you've practiced this a million times, and we'll get into that. But we also want to announce that tomorrow is Jenni G's birthday. Hello, Jenni G.
Happy birthday.
Thank
We're
you.
excited. Happy birthday. Your gift is Fern.
I love it. I know.
I
was
brought
so
Fern.
excited. He's
I
like,
got
have
Fern
a
to come.
surprise for you, and I was like, "Is it Fern?"
Yeah.
He was
She
like, "That
guessed
is."
it.
I was like so excited.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
And then I was like, I need you here early. So happy birthday,
and
Jenni
I
G.
was on time. I was actually 10 minutes early.
Oh,
She was.
And I was
I
the
was
late
impressed.
one. I had a 2.5-hour drive.
Yeah, but you were driving here. She
Yeah,
lives
she
a
lives-
block away. Yeah.
Well, I'm proud of you.
I'm
It's
like
the next
legit,
block
like,
up.
walking distance,
Well, it's
and
so
I'm
good to
always
see-
late.
It's so good to see you.
Yep.
Happy
It's good to see you. Thank you.
Yep. And there's another birthday. We actually have a birthday today. It's a listener of the show. Is one of our favorite people. You're also related to this person, the lovely and amazing Alina.
Happy birthday, Lena.
Happy birthday, Alina. We love
forgot
you.
To text you. I'll text you after this.
Yeah, your sister forgot. Schaafy did not.
I know you're busy at work, so I didn't want to interrupt you.
I
Yeah,
love that.
we need you to do the good things of the world. And I want to tell you a story of just really quickly because it just popped into my head. I'll never forget when she got married to your brother and on the beach down there. And in her vows, there was a vow that said that she's allowed to bring home stray animals whenever she wants. And I just think it's like the funniest thing in the world. Shout out to Alina. Happy birthday, girl. We love you so much.
Hey, happy birthday.
And then it's what's been funny is like following the progression of their little zoo that they have no, it's for real.
I was
Yeah.
Like-
going to say, so how many animals do we have collected?
All of them.
It's really funny though, because the last, I believe, 3, my brother brought in.
The dog,
The
which
dog,
is,
and
the
then
pity. Oh my
Before
gosh.
that,
just-
the pity. Yeah,
I
no, well,
love
the
that
beagle.
dog.
He has a
Oh,
beagle
the beagle,
now.
the beagle,
and then the
yeah.
pity before that, and then
Right.
a cat.
Right.
So, but
So-
she has a lovely large heart, and she
Yes.
wants to help everybody. So She has 3 dogs and 2 cats now, I believe.
It's
So
incredible.
it's not
I love
crazy,
that.
but they
No.
also have
No,
a
yeah.
big chunk of land out there. So
Yeah, they
That's
got
how
they have the
my-
room.
That's how
Yeah.
my mom ended up with like 6 dogs at one time because she took in 3 dogs that needed homes, and the plan was to have them rehomed, but that never happened. So
Yeah.
she literally kept them until they
Yeah.
passed away. But
we're that kind of family.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, my mom,
There's- it's great.
That was my family.
If you got a big heart, that's the right
Yes.
reason. The mystery lady, shout out to the mystery lady. She's done that. She's a cat mom, and she loves bringing in cats
Yes.
and helping them. And I'm great. I'll take a Benadryl. I'll be fine. No worries. But those are our special announcements. We definitely appreciate everybody. We're so glad Fern is here. And I wanted to ask you, so, I mean, being a college graduate, I'm sure that you've practiced this multiple sleep segment multiple times in the past few years. Like, do you ever have those where you're just so exhausted you got to go to sleep, but you got a paper to write, so you wake up in the middle and like do it?
Yeah, I definitely resonate with this fact for sure. Except my brain can't get the grasp of the second sleep.
Okay.
Oh, so you wake up
Yeah.
and you're up.
I'll be up at about 3:30, 4, 5 sleeping in for me.
Right.
So I'll be up at like 4 a.m. pretty average. But I do find a lot of solace in that time where my
Right.
brain is calm. That's when I take the time to write my to-do lists.
Yeah.
I did pre-research for my papers in school,
Right.
where I'd like, put up articles like, oh, this is going to be important. I need to read this later. And that was a
Yeah.
really good time for me to just slow down and edit my videos.
Right, right. You have work to do. You're
Yeah.
being active.
Yeah.
I like to be productive. So
Yeah.
when I wasn't productive in the morning, I was talking to my therapist about this a couple years ago, and it was giving me a lot of anxiety. Just
Yeah.
laying around like a blob and scrolling on my phone and not
Yeah.
really, being productive. And so I
Right.
would use that time to find calm ways to
Right.
be productive, and I
Right.
do believe that has helped my mental health tremendously.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
It is nice, yeah.
My therapist told me that for me, because I struggle with a sleep schedule and all of that, and she recommended that as soon as I get up in the morning, like go submerge myself in the sunlight, like go stand in my backyard, let it hit me, because it'll actually genuinely just get you up, ready for the day. You're accomplished. You're ready to rock and roll. It gives you
Yeah.
that little bit of energy. I feel like I'm Superman, like Kal-El. He gets his power from the sun, right?
Yeah.
So that is very smart. And I've been trying that here and there. As soon as the sun rises, I try to wake up early. I go out there, I get in it. And then I'm like, man, there's something to that. So take it from Schaafy and Pals.
Yeah.
Okay. We have some stuff that can help you. In fact, not to play on the irony of the whole thing, is we're going to get into our unpopular opinion here in a little bit. But we are very aware that we are trying to influence you, and now I'm going to bag on influencers as well. But we are very aware of that situational irony, if you want. But before we get into that, we do have to give this disclaimer. This is a comedy fiction podcast. The views and opinions expressed are ours and ours alone. They do not represent the views and opinions of our employers or prospective employers. Like it or love it, it's all just the same. Unpopular opinion is there in the name. We're going to go ahead and hit that catchy theme song, and we'll be right back with you.
Unpopular opinion, that's the name of the show. Hosted by Schaafy and Jenni G, don't you know? We'll have a heart-to-heart, so tune in and subscribe. It's unpopular opinion and a hell of a vibe. Love it or dislike it, it's all just the same. Because unpopular opinion is there in the name.
Ooh, you
I love
switched
the
it
ending. I know. I
up.
love the ending.
That's
Isn't
a
that cute?
different one.
Mhm.
Yes.
Jenni G, you're in there now.
Yeah.
love
Did-
that.
Yes.
So there's subtle giveaways that Fern only watches her episode of the show. We put Jenni G's name in there 3 episodes ago.
That was
No,
like 3
it's-
episodes ago.
Yeah, it was like 3 episodes ago.
You
So
wanna-
yeah,
you wanna
no,
know a secret? I didn't even watch that one because I don't like to watch myself.
fair enough.
That's fair.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
That's fair.
No, and I did admit earlier that I am far behind on your videos. You do a lot of content. It's incredible. We're going to get
Yeah.
into that here. But yeah, we added Jenni G
Love that.
to the theme
Yes.
song, It was a very simple fix, and I'm very pleased. And shout out to Nick Glutz, my trainer, because he was like, I had the idea, and then he solidified. He was like, dude, why isn't Jenni G mentioned in the theme song? And I was like, dude, you're right. I know. Let me work on it. So yeah, I'm glad you caught that.
I went like this for pal, and then it was Jenni G.
Oh, and you're like, oh, she's like stealing my thunder.
Switched it up. No, I love it. Anyway,
The pals are out. Yeah.
you were
No.
always evolving on this show.
We'll have to be like with pals and Jenni G.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
Now I got to switch it up
Yeah, we have
again.
to switch it up again.
We're
yeah.
always
Yep.
evolving
Yeah.
here.
It's constantly evolving, constantly changing,
Yes.
and whatever we can do just to stay positive and stay relevant and etc. I feel like, and this is welcome back to the show, everyone. Today we're diving straight into the unpopular opinion. It might ruffle a few feathers. It might trigger some people, and that's okay. But it desperately needs to be said. So, unpopular opinion: stop letting other people run your life. And I know there's some listeners that just clutch their pearls and are like, ah, how dare you insinuate that somebody's running my life and it's not me? Look, you need to stop letting other people run your life. Starting strong today. But honestly, it's so easy to say, be yourself, and incredibly hard to actually do it. And this comes from personal experience. Everything that I do is and say on this show comes from a place of I've done it before. I found this in me. And that personal experience piece. If I look back at my early years, I spent so much time not dancing to my own beat. I was hyper focused on what everyone else thought. And I'm talking about everything from the brands of clothing that I wore just to fit in, and all the way to the women I dated, to be honest with you. I was very influenced by what other people thought, and I would basically let other people run my life. And it's that constant need for validation for me, wanting to be part of the crowd. But it really went deeper than that as well. And looking back, there were times people would straight up gaslight me, and instead of standing up for what I knew was right or what I actually wanted, I would just fold. I'd go along with what they said, even when it completely went against my own gut. It was damaging, man. And it chips away at who you are until you don't even recognize yourself. In the pre-show, and I know so many of our listeners can relate, but in the pre-show earlier, Jenni G and I were talking about this, that we're not going to name any names with our friend group, Fern, but we have select friends growing up that were horrible and still do this to this day, where as soon as you walk into a room, they try to have this narcissistic control over you by pointing out something that you maybe or may not. They're trying to poke holes. They're trying to poke and find these little things that they know that will try to emotionally trigger you, so then they can try to exploit it to have that control and try to run your life. And it was prevalent growing up. When I talk about the women that I dated or the clothes that I wore or the music that I listened to, we had these friends where they would literally gaslight you, and they would be like, oh, you like that? Oh, you like grape jelly? No, man, that's crazy. Raspberry jelly. You should throw all your grape jelly away.
Everyone's eating raspberry.
Yeah.
God.
And it's so nuts. And so now we try our best not to let these people influence us. I don't really make a whole lot of decisions based upon emotion anymore. I try to be a very logical person, which has its faults as well. But I'm always looking at what is your end game with this? You're clearly trying to control me in some way, and I just don't stand for it. So I mentioned that some of our listeners, and I know that many of our listeners are going to be able to relate. And we're going to talk about what I learned from breaking out of that cycle, and how do we actually stop being so influenced. So we have Fern on today because her brother and herself, as we discussed on the Solo Hiking is Terrifying episode, you guys basically grew up as feral forest kids. Now, is that going overboard, Fern? Like, I'm sorry if that's too much. Am I kind of spot on?
That's pretty accurate. Yeah,
Right.
no, we grew up pretty rurally out in Oregon. And we had a lot of things to do, chores, and play in the woods and go play in the creek and go catch stuff in the puddles and stuff.
Right,
But
right.
yeah, we had a lot of freedom, which was really nice, and we had a lot of freedom to make our own decisions and
That's
make our own
great.
mistakes, which
Right,
is really nice.
right. And I know that Jenni G and I are very similar. We grew up in the city with both older and younger
Yeah.
siblings,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so and we had this
yeah.
friend group that was, some of them would definitely try to heavily influence us in negative ways. And so it all comes down to really shifting how you look at the world. And I want to break it down. And as you know, on Schaafy Unpop, we do, three on scripted shows. We do these 3 talking points, and I read off the talking points. I give you some tips on it. And then, you, the listener, decide, am I spot on or am I full of shit? And I wanted Fern to be here to kind of, because I know that with different upbringings, you might agree with some of these, and then you might have some caveats to them. You might completely disagree on some as well. And I'm glad that I have you here, because I want to, kind of dive into this and help our listeners. So,
yeah. I think I'll have a really interesting perspective. I grew up very independent and very, strange, very myself, but also not away from influences,
Right.
very bad ones.
Right,
So, yeah,
right.
absolutely.
And we want to hear about them. I want to hear your experiences. I know that everybody wants to hear Jenni G's experiences, of course. I'm telling you, they really want it just unpopular opinion with Jenni G, and Schaafy can go. Like,
Well, someday.
hey, get in your corner and stay there, Jenni G.
She'll make her own thing.
She's gonna have, one day I'm gonna come in. She's got a key to the place. There's gonna be like a red sign, and it's gonna, like, she's gonna crudely paste her name over everything. And I'm gonna be like, what the heck? What's going on? And she's like, you're out.
I love it.
And Dustin's gonna be sitting here chewing on cilantro.
Votes are in.
Yeah,
You're
the
out.
votes are in. You're out, man.
Jenni G's block.
Jenni G's block. Yep, she's
just what it's
Jenni
called.
G from the block.
I love it. I love it.
I love it. Well, let's jump into the first talking point. We got the show rolling. Everything's going a full head of steam. So my point number 1 is going with the flow is actually a slow form of self-destruction. So we're taught that being easygoing and keeping the peace is a virtue. Okay, but if you're constantly just going with the flow just to avoid conflict, or because you're being gaslit, you're slowly erasing your own identity. Disagreeing with people isn't mean. It's a boundary. If you don't stand up for your own thoughts, you become a ghost in your own life. And we were talking earlier, you have a lot of experience with this.
I do, yeah. So I don't talk about it a lot publicly, but I am very open to talking about it, if asked about it or if it's relevant. But I am a divorcee. I was married for about 8 years, but we were together for about 13 years.
Yeah.
Very young, very young.
Right.
So I definitely went with the flow. I conformed to what societal norms wanted. I conformed to what parents wanted. I conformed to what my friends were doing. And I was highly influenced by, just this is what people do. You get somebody, you tolerate each other, you get married. But in the end, that caused me ruin. It caused my financial ruin. It caused my emotional ruin. And, if I would have listened to those things sooner, if I would have stood up for myself sooner and not just went with the flow of what everyone else did, I think I would have been a different and better in different ways situation.
Right. And congratulations on getting out of that situation. So many people struggle with that. As soon as somebody starts telling me about, and I see the successes that you have right now, and you have your YouTube channel, and you're recently a college graduate, and you're walking your own path, you're beating your own drum, more similarly to how you were when you were younger, right? What do you think that, like, the 2015, 2016 Fern would think about 2026 Fern?
Yeah, I mean, that's a fantastic point. I was married in 2015, so I think the 2015 me, who was really excited to get married and start the life of, the housewife and do all the stuff and find my way, she would see me now and be amazed.
Yeah.
This is who she's always wanted to be. She's always wanted to be independent and adventurous and do her own thing and not really ask anybody permission.
That is
Yeah,
incredible.
yeah.
Thank you. And you can do it too.
And
Yes.
go on. I can. That just gave me chills.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
I'm like, wow, because when we look at, who we were back then,
Yeah.
and you kind of thought you had it all planned out, right?
I
But
was very influenced.
it
Well,
was
I
it was
feel
somebody
like
else's plan.
Well,
Oh,
when
go
you're
ahead, Jenni
young
G.
too, you're constantly trying to figure out who you are too. So
Right.
there's things that you really don't know what you like either, too. So
Oh, absolutely.
I feel like
Right.
that's and like Schaafy always talk about like when we were kids, like growing up, we had so many different friends with so many different backgrounds, and I feel like we're all trying to figure out who we are, and so viewing somebody else's like how they are, like, oh, they're cool, like everybody wants to hang out with them,
Mhm.
like it's kind of like I feel like we're kind of influenced in that way too, like
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. Trying to emulate who you want to be.
yeah,
Right.
exactly. Because
Yeah.
you're seeing it and you're like, wait, I really like that, like I like their style, right? So
Right.
then you want to start dressing like them, or you like their personality, or you like, oh, she eats a donut and a coffee every morning. Like I want to eat a donut and coffee every morning.
And it
I
seems
love
like,
a
yeah,
donut and coffee
But
every
yeah,
morning.
but it's like,
I feel like that could be very healthy if you pick, oh, I like that one thing that they're doing. Like,
yeah,
oh, I'm
but
going to
it's like,
incorporate that in my life.
but I
Right.
don't really like chocolate donuts, so like I want to go for a raspberry powder.
Right.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
So it's kind of like seeing somebody and like the things that kind of picking the things that you like of them, but kind of making it your own too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's a great way to find identity.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's a big deal, and it's kind of I kind of wonder, you learned a lot in those
Mhm.
times,
Mhm.
and what are some of the road, the bricks that built that road? What good or bad that you took with you, or that you learned from that you're now using to pave your new road?
Absolutely. That's great point. Great question. So I have always been taught ever since I was very little to be myself, to be, um, unapologetically myself
Right.
to a fault sometimes.
Sure.
And I think what I took away from just my entire life, I've always been very unapologetically myself. I've always been into the things I'm into. I've
Right.
always been a little bit of a nerd who loves Star Wars. I've always been a
Yes.
little bit of a geek who loves books. I've always been
Fit right in on this
Yeah.
show, I'll tell you. Yeah. It's
I've
just
always been obsessed with nature, and
right.
those fundamental things have never ever changed about me.
Right.
Yeah.
The
Right.
clothes and the fashion and the hair and stuff like that might change, but yeah,
Yeah.
there's the fundamental things about people that um, just stick with you.
Yeah.
And those are the important things.
It is the important things, and it sounds, and also, getting back to you control you,
Mhm.
right? And because this is a good little segue to go into the second talking point, because most people's opinions of you are just reflections of their own securities. So when people are trying to dictate your clothes, your relationship choices, or your vibe, they're usually just trying to control their own environment to make themselves feel safer. So when I allowed myself to be influenced by others, I wasn't living up to some objective standard of cool. I was just conforming to their baggage. And once you realize that their criticism has nothing to do with you, their power over you completely vanishes. And we talk on this show a lot about narcissism and things of that nature. I can't remember exactly what episode it was, but I was talking about how I almost do a test with people early on because I'm trying to catch the sloppy narcissist. I will up and give you something, and I will tell you that I'm being very vulnerable right now, and I have a phobia of pickles, just something random, right? But I will tell them that I'm being vulnerable. So this is clearly now they're reading, okay, that's something that I can use against them. A sloppy narcissist will use it right away.
Mm.
They will absolutely use it right away. A true full narcissist, they're in it for the long game. So they will save that for months and months and months, maybe even years. And then one day it'll come out and they'll try to use it against you. So what I always do, and it's never wrong to test people if you're protecting yourself. It's wrong to test people and not let them know when it's not in a safety is paramount kind of manner. So when I tell somebody that maybe I have a phobia of pickles, I don't. I'm lying to them because I want to see if they use it. I'm not going to tell them something that's actually going to hurt me.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell them something that is so absurd, but I'm serious. I'm very serious about it. And then a year down the road, they're like, "Oh, I got you all these pickles," because they're trying to control me with something.
Mhm.
They absolutely know that I have a phobia, and now I know.
The sloppy
Yeah.
narcissist.
Yeah.
Now I know, and
Well,
boom,
it's almost like they turn around and throw it in your face.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like when you're
Right.
talking about it, it's kind of like, oh, like concerning, and then
Mm.
like down the road, it's kind of like, oh, we're gonna throw that back in your face.
Yeah, and I get that. I've had
In a
friends,
negative way.
Yeah, I've had friends where I've tried to set boundaries. Like a good example is one of them was late
Right.
every time, and for me it was a thing where it was costing me money at some point because we
Right.
were working together,
Right.
Yeah.
and it got to the point where it was just like I feel like you are just you're not listening for a reason, and I think it was like a control thing because they're like,
Right.
well, you're not going to tell me what to do, and we're in
Yeah.
this together. You're not the boss, and it's just like,
Right.
that's not what it's about. Yeah, absolutely,
It's
yeah.
not what it's
Yeah.
about. And you have to set that healthy boundary.
Absolutely.
And I often talk about a book that I had read on the recommendation of a lot of people, my therapist included, and it's called Set Boundaries, Find Peace. And I always recommend that. It's a New York Times bestseller. It's a great book. I have it in the other room. But talking about setting boundaries and sometimes never be afraid to reiterate your boundaries. Sometimes you have to state it multiple times. And that's not a them thing or a you thing. Just got to do it. Sometimes it is what it is. They're not gonna listen the first time. You have to establish it. But that's like the perfect segue into talking point 3, right? True respect is earned by standing your ground, not by fitting in. So this is the ultimate paradox. We think that by bending over backwards and agreeing with someone, they'll like us more. But in reality, people don't respect a doormat. Even the people who disagree with you will secretly respect you if you look them in the eye and say, I see it differently, and I'm sticking to my view. Now, of course, if your view is that it's okay to strip away human rights, lie, cheat, and steal, then you're not being an individual. You're heavily influenced by the dark side. And we are all Jedis over here, buddy. I don't know if you noticed, but we do have the Jedi. Okay, the Jedi Master, the Jedi Order. So, look, if that's what you're looking for, and you're looking to run over people, I'm not going to allow you to do that. I'm going to stand my ground. I'm going to set my boundary. And if you cross that boundary, there's going to be some sort of discourse, if you will. There's going to be like a punishment, and it's typically I'm not going to associate myself with you. I'm going to separate myself from that situation. Do you find that that's what you have to do oftentimes?
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's a hard game, especially being a woman, because standing your ground could be, a wow, she's so strong, or like wow, she's
Right.
being a real beep. So
Right.
you never
Yeah.
really know, but it's really hard to balance for sure. And I think that societal norms are there for a reason,
Right.
and so there's ways to behave in public for sure.
Yeah.
There's things that should not be said in public for sure, but it's if you believe what you believe, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, stand your ground.
Stand your
Yeah.
ground,
Yeah.
go for it. And I'm always for the thing where I'm going to look at people's opinions and their morality behind it, right? We
Yeah.
talk about this a lot. The show's Unpopular Opinion. We all have opinions, whether they're popular or unpopular.
Mhm.
But what's your morality behind it? If it's going to hurt someone, I'm probably not going to be on board for it.
And they're going to
Yeah.
end up being lonely because nobody wants to hang
Absolutely.
out with those people,
Yeah.
and so they're going to be alone and sad.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think that the takeaway is that you have to stay original. Being yourself isn't a cliche. It's a survival tactic. And
Well,
stand
you
up
have to respect people too.
100%.
You can have your opinions, but
That's
be
the-
respectful.
Yeah, that's my caveat. Is like yes, but also like
Yeah.
society's there for a reason,
Right.
And I think public shaming is there for a reason.
Yeah.
It is. When people, and you stand up for what you think and what you feel and what you value, no matter who thinks otherwise. Well, if you're out there being a dipshit, public shaming has a lot of merit.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with a lot of the cancel culture stuff because I'm like, and you brought it up earlier, you can say like being a pedophile is fucking wrong.
Yeah, that's why we don't have just people walking around the streets doing what they did 250, 300 years ago because
Right.
society has deemed it unacceptable.
Yep.
And we
Yeah.
have shamed them not out of existence, unfortunately, but hopefully we can get there.
Yeah. I don't know why this just triggered, you know how my brain works. I saw this meme and it said, can we bring back throwing tomatoes and lettuce at people?
That's exactly what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
like they're up on a stage and they start saying something that's stupid and we all start throwing freaking fruits and
Yeah.
vegetables at
Oh,
them.
this guy
Like-
touched a kid, stake him up, and everyone throws stuff out at him.
Everybody,
Yeah.
can
Guess
we
who's
bring
not
back
gonna be
stoning?
doing this? Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
he's not going to be doing that anymore.
Right,
Yeah.
100%. I'm all for that. The public shame,
Yeah.
make it fucking happen right away.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. Yep, we're all in agreement. We have an agreement on Schaafy Unpop. That's our show. No, I'm kidding.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love it.
Wow.
I'm like, there it is. But and that it moves in because I kind of want to go into a heart to heart and have the heart to heart with our listeners. And in this, I want to be a little educational on this because we just gave these 3 talking points, and I want to reiterate them. And because I know everybody's like, well, Schaafy, but how do I do that? Right? How can I have this? So let's give some tips. Our heart to heart is really surrounded by how to find yourself, especially when you're up against those 3 talking points. So the first one, going with the flow, is actually a slow form of self-destruction. How to find yourself here, you have to start practicing the micro no. If you've spent years letting others dictate your choice, from the clothes you wear to the places you eat, you have to rebuild your autonomy muscle. You were mentioning like the job that you have,
Yes.
having somebody dictate any piece of this life. So you got to start small. If somebody says, let's go get sushi, and your gut says no, speak up. It's how about you just switch it and say, actually, I prefer burgers.
Yeah.
And it sounds trivial, but finding yourself starts by honoring your micro preferences before you can handle the macro decisions. So always with anything, baby steps, start small. And that would be a good place to stop going with the flow so dang much and start going to your own beat of your own drum. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think this is a great topic, especially as a woman. Maybe
Yeah.
Jenny, you can kind of have some thoughts as well. But
Yeah.
I think it's really important that women, especially nowadays, and I think it's really nice that we have learned how to say no in a way that is not disrespectful. It's
Right.
we're learning to speak up for ourselves and our boundaries and what we want. But I think it's really also important that we respect other people and do it in a way that's thanks but no thanks.
Yeah, because I feel like you have to definitely you can respect people, but you have to do what makes you happy. Because if you're constantly doing something that is making somebody else happy because that's what makes them happy, you are slowly killing your soul.
Which has been the expectations of women
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
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 Strip away their
Yeah.
individuality. They have to be
Indeed.
in this
No.
box
Yeah.
of this person and this humble, sweet housewife.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. So I think
Yeah.
that it's really important, especially now that especially for women, speaking as a woman, I can't really speak for men. So
Right.
this has just kind of triggered my thoughts about it was,
Right.
I think that's really important. Women
Yeah.
are learning how to stand up for themselves and say
Yeah.
no and redirect, as you
Right.
said, maybe not just being like, ew, no, but being like, oh, no, thank you. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
I
not
try-
interested. And
As a girl dad, I try to set that precedent with my girls. And I say, listen, if you don't agree with what I'm saying, please, I promise you one thing. I am not going to be upset if you have a difference of opinion. If you say you want to do this or you want to do that, just tell me.
Mhm.
And please, I know it's tough because somewhere they have that societal norm where they can't speak up,
Yeah.
and I want them, and I encourage them to try it. Where do you want to eat? What are you hungry for? I want this. What do you want? Oh, don't just say that sounds good
Yeah.
unless you really like it, right?
Mhm.
Let's go and do what you want. And I'm trying to teach them that just because hopefully repetition, they just naturally do that. And if anybody has a problem with that, well, we know what they can do. They can,
Yeah.
They can
go F. Yeah.
Well, even if that, one wants a sushi, one wants a burger, go get it at a buffet.
Yeah.
You know what I
Compromise.
mean? So compromise is a
Hey,
big thing.
Compromise, I don't think has ever truly hurt anybody, right?
Yeah.
And I think a really important thing that we brought up pre-show was that for children, especially learning that emotional control of saying, no, this is what I want because.
Yes.
Right.
I
right.
think that's really important. I don't have children personally, but, as a child, I was a child and
Right.
I had those pressures and then the societal norms of just being quiet and, doing what I was told. And
Right.
I think that's super important for kids to be able to articulate their emotions.
And Jenni
And
G, I think, was giving
I
the
do,
whys, right?
Yeah, I 100% agree on this one because a lot of people, especially with kids, they want to know the why and the reasoning behind it. You can't, I feel like parents, or not even parents, even school teachers, I feel like they get this control thing where you have to do it. You have to sit at the desk because this is what I'm telling you to do.
Because I said so.
Because I said
Yeah.
so.
Right.
And kids, they're learning, right? So they want to know the reasoning why. Why do I have to sit at this desk? And then teachers get upset because the kid is running around playing, but you didn't explain why he needs to be sitting down, or he or she needs to be sitting down.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of like going back and, this is, we're sitting down, like, it's reading time, or whatever the case may be, whatever the task is that they're doing.
Yeah,
But
fill in
there's-
blank.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
There's got to be, you have to give them a reasoning why we're sitting down. Like, this is why we're
Absolutely.
sitting down.
And that's going to make, in my opinion, in my hopefully popular opinion, it's going to make
Sure.
emotionally.
Well, but not only that, but then
Yeah.
that gives the opportunity for the kid to come back and go, okay, well, I'm not really interested in doing this task right now.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So I would rather get up and go play. But then the teacher can or whoever's talking to them, like, okay, well, actually, it's not playtime. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Actually, like, for this time from 2 to 3, we're actually going to be sitting down, reading, or story time, whatever it may be. And then they'll actually sit down and kind of like, okay, I can do that later.
Yeah, and then like,
Right.
well, then after this we have recess.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like,
they
want
absolutely.
there's
bargaining skills. And,
Yeah, it's not
yeah.
really bargaining.
Not bargaining. Yeah, that was.
But it's kind of like going on, like, they know what's to be expected.
Yeah.
Not because I'm just telling you, like, this is the plan. This
It's
is what
also
we have.
not forever.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
this is the plan. Just from 2 to 3, we're going to be reading, drawing, and then after this, we can go play for a while. But then I kind of feel like then the kid's like, okay, yeah, no, now is not playtime. I have to actually be physically sitting down.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then they can do whatever all the other kids do and sit there and go, oh, I can't wait till this is over so I can go play.
Yeah.
No, exactly. Yeah.
It sounds like what
Yeah.
you're revolving around is a respectful way of making requests and setting boundaries,
Yeah.
which is on par. But and here's what you may or may not be surprised. And as I'm in a leadership capacity in my professional life, that's not just a conversation for kids.
Yeah.
There are so many adults that you have to give the why behind everything, or they flat out act like children and
Yeah.
they shut down. They will not do it.
Yeah.
It's incredible to watch because I'm like, dude, we're all adults here, and I have to give you the why behind everything, or else you don't see any type of value in it.
Mm.
Like, okay, how about and because I said so is not a good why, right?
Yeah.
You have to say what the benefit and the value, the feature, the benefit and the value of everything. So it's just it's one of those Schaafy mind blown moments that I see adults still acting like this with children, but are like children.
It's probably because they were never taught emotional regulation.
That's 100% what
I
it is.
love that.
Mhm. We're gonna do the where's the
I'm not a therapist.
yeah, no, that was 100%. None of us are.
I've
We
just
all see
been-
therapists.
I've just been to
Yeah.
therapy.
Yes,
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
yeah.
We are proponents of therapy here. We are fans of the show. The show is a fan of therapy for sure. Getting into, most people's opinions of you are just reflections of their own insecurities. How do you find yourself here? And I know that this is like Fern's favorite thing in the world to do is you have to undergo an audit of isolation. You ask yourself a question. If I were stranded on a beautiful island alone for a year with absolutely no one to impress, no social media, and no one to judge me, what would I wear? Fern, when we were talking about this in the pre-show, you were like, I seek isolation.
Yes.
And so talk about kind of how that helps you. And also, I mean, like if you were on an island by yourself for a year, what would you wear?
So I'll definitely start by answering the question, or else I will forget. That
Right,
happened
right.
Last time. So I would wear a very comfortable and a very ugly 21st century muumuu, aka a house dress,
Right.
and I would smell terrible.
Okay. Jenni G, what would you wear if you were just no pressures of the world?
I would be a fancy dress,
Yeah.
some heels, and probably lots of makeup.
Yeah. And so this is hilarious because I was going to hit the little button. I'm going to laugh at that. Because Jenni G would still dress up because she's doing it for herself.
Yeah.
She
feels
doesn't,
good.
right? It makes her feel good. She doesn't care about what anybody else thinks. She's doing that shit for her.
Yeah.
I would just drape myself in linen. Like I would grab the curtains off the wall. It would be like the Roman Empire. I would be just draped in linen,
I was thinking like a chic.
just like a chic, even that. Yeah. And I'd just be like, la, 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 la. And that's what I would be. And then you fast forward 4 years and it's like Tom Hanks in the movie Castaway, which is one of my favorites. We don't list things here on the show, but it's up in there. And like it fast forwards 4 years and he's just in like a loincloth and he's all skinny. He's got the crazy beard and he's like, now he can spear fish from 20 yards away. Like it's incredible.
Yeah.
And that would be me. But what do you find? And, you kind of touched on this in our Solo Hiking is Terrifying, that one of the reasons why you went out to go seek this isolation is because you were finding yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, bringing back on the marriage situation, I was in a pretty rough marriage, and the solace that I found was with myself. I felt
Right.
like going out with other people, going camping with other people, it was always still expectations. There was always still pressure. There was always still
Right.
schedules, and
Yeah.
when I go by myself, and I've gone for over a week, I've gone for like 8-9 days, not backpacking, but camping, car
Right.
camping. And it's fantastic. You really learn how to get bored.
Right.
You learn how to be bored. You learn a lot about yourself. Great time for reflection,
Yeah.
and I think it's really important to just, be happy with yourself, because
Right.
I'm pretty cool. So I didn't know that
That's
until
pretty cool.
I didn't know that until I hung out with myself.
You're like, I didn't know how amazing I actually am.
I didn't know how cool. I was like, dang, okay, like,
Right.
yeah,
And that's the first step, is finding love for yourself.
For
When you
yourself,
find
yes.
yourself, you can then be yourself, and
Yes.
we'll talk about that.
yeah.
Something that you said that just, oh my gosh, would upset me. Going camping or any trip, going anywhere with anybody else, and they have created an itinerary. Here's what I love. I love a good itinerary. I love time on target, having to be places.
Yeah.
When I go on company trips, I'm like, man, this is great. Like we got the workshop at this time, we could break for lunch, we got this, we got that. That's great, because that's a company thing. When I go on a personal level and one person created the entire itinerary and took control over it, and it's like, we have to do this, and then they're micromanaging the entire thing, that is the worst freaking nightmare. In no shape or form is that a vacation for me. I will literally give you a hell no, not just a micro or a macro no, and I will be very upfront. This doesn't look like it's fun. Where is my free time?
Yeah.
Because here's the other thing. What they're going to do is I say, well, I'm not going to go on the rowboat tour at 10 p.m. because that just sounds stupid to me. And now that person's going to be upset because, well, I took all the time to plan all this. Well, I didn't fucking tell you to do that. Sorry, I dropped a hardcore F-bomb there. Clearly, I feel some type of way. Clearly, I've been there. Dustin, close your ears. He's like, what did he do?
His poor fuzzy ears.
But it's like, man, and I'm not afraid to set that boundary anymore. Back in the day, I would have been like, okay, yeah, this sounds good, and I would have hated it.
yeah.
So it's like, man, don't do that. We need to be taking back our lives,
Do you want to
people.
know? Do you want to know a secret?
Yes.
I started going solo camping originally because I got so tired of being the one. Of what
Right.
now? What now? What do we do, Kristen? What do we do? Or
That's okay.
Fern, what do we do? And,
Yeah.
it's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What
Right.
do you want to do? I don't know. We're camping.
Stop
you
trying to
know?
make me make the decision for everything, right?
Do you want to go on a walk? Do you want to? Yeah, and so for me personally, it was the time, and I was also like that at home.
Right.
I was running the household. I was taking care of everything, and
Right.
it was my time to just be myself and
Right.
Trying to
relax.
make everybody around you happy rather than yourself.
Yes, no expectations
Yeah.
except for what I have to do at camp. I made
Right.
myself food, so I got to clean the dishes.
Yeah.
That's
and
incredible.
then I got to lay in the hammock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like, and this is, correct me if I'm wrong, but you did an audit of isolation and you found that you prefer it.
Yes, I do.
And so you
yes.
found your solace and your peace in there.
And I mean, no offense to any of my friends that are watching right now. Like, I love you guys, and I do love going camping with you guys. But I think they've definitely learned by now that
Right.
I go by myself, and I do like it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, finding
Yeah, I love
yourself
that, yeah.
requires you to separate your genuine desires from your performance for others. So if you only like a brand or a lifestyle because it gets you validation, when you walk in a room, it's not you, it's a costume. And so when we go out there and we have to rip off that costume, this, what we're playing in front of people, this character that we have to be to go find ourselves and wear our linen and listen to whatever we want. Because one of the other questions on there is, you're on that island, what would you wear, what would you listen to, what would you eat, right? I would listen to soft piano pop covers of everything from the Beatles, who's my Mystery Ladies' favorite band. Shout out to the Mystery Ladies. That's the second time I brought her up. Jenni G's over there waving. Yeah. Hold on. I got a thing. Okay. Anyway, hush your butt. I don't know what to do with my hands right now. I'm going to turn red. So shout out to the Beatles. And I would listen to some of that. What would you listen to what do you listen to when you're on the trail? Do you have AirPods in or something, right?
Not usually, no, but it's when I'm going, like when I'm road tripping places.
Right, right.
I will listen to what some might classify as terrible music, which,
Okay.
is like Britney Spears and Spice Girls and stuff. But, it's fun to just,
You like pop?
on occasion, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like to just
She likes hard rock too.
and I'm a genreless human, which is why it was so hard, because I also like folk, I also like
Right.
rock, I like
Same.
metal.
I listen
Yeah.
to my
I have a lip ring engages for a reason here,
Right.
people,
I love it, yeah.
So it's like, it's hard, but in my guilty pleasure time when it's just me, like I absolutely love singing Spice Girls.
So that's Mystery Ladies.
I love
Also
metal
love Spice.
music. I love metal music.
She's
That's
all
my-
into metal. She's like,
Yes.
"Rrrr." Yep.
Yes.
and
Incredible.
I get the emotions out.
That's her
Yeah.
jam.
And it just depends.
We
That's
we
my road trip music. I love it.
We
we
Whenever
told
I'm
the
really
story
jam
about
out
that.
too.
If we're talking about individuality with nobody, like not impressing anybody, it's got to be
Right.
Spice Girls.
I love it.
Jenni G's never worried about impressing me. She picked me up at like 8 a.m. We went to the homestead one morning, and she was like, "Oh, I love this band," and she puts it on super loud, and it's death thrash metal, and I'm like, "Girl, it's 8 a.m."
It's 8 a.m.
And I just kind of I reached over and I just kind of turned the volume down, and I was like,
She needed
"Dude."
that.
No, but that's unapologetically
great.
herself. She's
Yeah.
found herself, right? And that was incredible. We applaud that.
Yeah.
So, and that's one of the greatest things. True respect is earned by standing your ground, not by fitting in. How to find yourself here. You have to trace your internal map of resentment. This is a massive tool for self-discovery. Pay close attention to when you feel bitter, when you feel resentful or drained after an interaction. We all have energy vampires in our life. Make sure that you're cognizant of how you feel. Resentment is your soul's way of screaming, "You just let someone cross a line or change your mind against your will." When you feel that sting, sit with it. Write it down. Ask yourself, where did I just betray myself to keep someone else happy? That resentment is a map. If you follow it backward, it will show you exactly where your true boundaries and your true identity are hiding. I made a comment in the pre-show, and I was like, "How do you find your car after a hike?" And you're like, "Well, I never lose my car." And I was like, "Shots fired, Donnie," because he lost his car going in L.A. going to the Dodgers game.
2 points for me, Donnie.
Right. And I was like, "But you can never, you can never lose." Just Fern in the lead.
I don't know.
You
This,
can't
I don't know
lose-
this man.
Fair enough. He's a great guy. I've
He is
known him
great,
for
yeah.
Sorry,
26
Donnie.
years.
I bet you're great.
She bets. Yeah, it's okay.
I love
You
it.
can't lose your car if you just follow your path that you came, right? So follow your path, and that's how you're going to be able to discover it. There are so many, tracing it back is such a huge thing in therapy. Therapists are all the time. Can you trace back the first time? I remember talking about alcohol and me wanting to, when I made the decision that I needed to get sober, one of the first things that my therapist did was, can you remember the first time you started drinking? And it opened up my eyes, because now we have a number. I have something tangible. I can count it, right? I can feel it. And so I look back and I was like, holy cow, 1993 or 94, I remember exactly where I was and what I was doing, drinking at such a young age, so stupid, stealing beers out of my dad's fridge. And then I started writing down, because I have this crazy memory, right? And I started writing down, and I said, you know what? I haven't gone a full year from 1993 up until 2018, when I took that year off of drinking. And then 7 or 8 years after that, Like I'd only taken 1 year off where I had not had a drink the entire year.
Mhm.
That's scary. That's crazy because it just started progressing, but I had to retrace my entire steps to find out who I was and give me a bit bigger possible or positive case for change.
Mhm.
So when we're looking at this and that resentment, you know, ask yourself again, where did you betray yourself? That resentment is a map. Follow it backwards. It's going to show you exactly where your true boundaries and your true identity are hiding. So go out there, find yourself, be yourself. But if you can't right now, that's okay too. And I want to ask both of you a question. Fern and Jenni G, let me ask you, have you ever wanted to be influenced?
Well, the other day I was just thinking about that. Yes, I do.
I have a feeling this is a segue to our product of the week.
Jenni G knows me so well. This is a segue to the product of the week. And speaking of being influenced, hey, you want to be influenced? Check this out. That brings us perfectly to the product of the week. Or rather, I kind of did a switcheroo here. This is our people of the week. Ooh, cue the oohs and the ahs.
I love that.
So look, we live and we know we live in a digital world. You're going to scroll, you're going to see influencers, and I used to cringe every time I saw someone post a video of them giving a homeless person a sandwich. Do it without the camera. You get the same effect. But my role now is, and this is my rule, if you're going to follow an influencer online, make it someone who is actually creating good in the world. Okay. And I actually have 3 influencers or social media presences that I wanted to discuss that I think all 3 are bringing their own unique charm and their own unique kind of help to this world. And the first one is SB Mowing. Are you familiar with SB Mowing?
Yeah, I think I've seen his stuff. Yeah. He's
Yeah.
the one that does the mowing for free for elderly and abandoned homes.
Absolutely. Jenni G, have you seen any of this? I know that Jenni G doesn't really participate in a whole lot of the social networkings, and I'm so proud of you for that. I wish I can take a page out of that book and be more like Jenni G. Do you know who we're talking about here?
I do not, but I did hear a little bit of discussion about it. So
Perfect.
Yeah.
So this guy, you're 100% correct. This guy goes around, he finds overgrown, messy lawns for elderly people or people going through a hard time, and he cleans it up for free. I watch his videos all the time, and because he's a sensation. People are now emailing him and saying, "Hey," and they're giving him this story.
Oh, wow.
This gal or this lady or this veteran or something, everything's really tight right now, and their yard, it's make them happy. Let's help them clean up their lives, right?
Mhm.
And so it's pure, it's satisfying, it genuinely helps the community. He has a foundation called SB Mowing It Forward, and he's using his platform for good. One of the recent ones that he's done, and it was probably either this last year or the year before. So this elderly lady took an Uber ride. The Uber driver dropped her off and saw her yard. And there was clutter. She had been trying to organize a yard sale. The grass was all just crazy. The trim, everything needed to be done. She was talking to her. It turns out her husband had just passed away. She's falling on these hard times. She's got all these health issues. She's just trying to live another
Yeah.
day. The Uber driver emailed SB Mowing. This is giving me fucking chills. Sorry. I watch these videos and I cry. It's insane. SB Mowing shows up. He introduces himself. Yes, he has cameras rolling. He does this and takes the proceeds from his content and gives it back into the community.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
I
that's a
love
very
that.
important
Yeah.
distinction. Is where is
Right.
the money going? Is it going back into the product, or is it
Right.
going into the pockets?
Yeah.
We understand you're doing it for clicks, but you're doing it for clicks to give it to the person.
You're building.
Right. You're not just doing it to build your own empire.
Yes.
You're doing this out of this empathetic and sympathetic.
Yeah.
So he goes up. She tells him the story. He tells her, look, you recently took an Uber driver. Oh my God. Schaafy's getting verklempt here. You guys talk amongst yourselves. I promised myself I wasn't going to cry.
Isn't he cute when he cries?
I love it.
Oh my God. This is so stupid. I don't know what to do with my hands right now. So he says, look, you recently took an Uber ride and you don't know this, but I'm such and such from SB Mowing. And I go around, I have a YouTube channel and I clean up people's yards for free.
No.
And she's like, that would be amazing. You don't know what I've been through. He's like, can you tell me a little bit about it? So he gets, and he does her yard. This yard is bad. And he goes, well, what are you doing with all this stuff here? She's like, well, I'm trying to organize it. You know, she's in her 80s, maybe even older. She's trying to organize. Her husband passed away. She's sick. She's trying to organize this garage sale. And he goes, I'll tell you what. I'm going to buy all of this stuff from you.
Oh.
I know. Get ready, ladies.
That's
He says, I'm going to, out of my personal pocket, I'm going to buy everything in here. What do you think a good number is? Do you think $800? And she goes, that's way more than enough. She was hoping to get a couple $100.
No.
Oh, did I mention that she's 3 months behind on rent? Oh, I didn't mention that? Yeah, she is. So he gives her $800. He collects all the stuff, puts it into his long bed, brings it all to Habitat for Humanity. Perfect. He's like, I'm going to donate it to some people that can use it. He brings it to Habitat for Humanity. He goes into the SB Mowing Moving It Forward nonprofit that he has, the foundation, and he draws the money for all 3 back months of rent for her.
Oh, that's
That's
sweet.
amazing.
He gives it to her.
Yeah.
And then he also sets up a GoFundMe for her, and they raise like over $50,000.
Wow.
She
see?
doesn't have to worry about money anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And he cleaned her yard.
Where do you want your clicks to go, you know?
Right.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
And him and his dad, he was like, it was a big yard, more than I can do by myself, because he's just out there. But sometimes he brings in partners,
Yeah.
right? And some people, the other companies that want to do the same
People
thing.
probably volunteer too. I'm
Volunteers.
I'm
He gets
sure.
he gets sponsors that donate shovels and equipment, and he's got all this great equipment. He's got like the giant riding lawnmower, you know, like the
Aw.
big industrial one. And so he comes through, and him and his dad cleaned it. And he goes, "This yard was so overgrown and so bad, it took me 2 days."
Sure.
And they did it. They edged, they mowed, they blowed, they did the entire thing, and they changed this woman's life.
I love that.
And that's the type of stuff that I love watching.
Yeah.
If you're going to be influenced, watch that.
Where do you want your clicks to go? Do you want them to go to some lady putting on her eyeliner? Do you want it to go to
Right.
somebody
Yeah.
who's helping the
Yeah.
world? You know?
That her only freaking talent is that she's hot.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
that one is
Right.
different because that's somebody that is trying to show people that everybody can do this.
Yeah.
Everybody can help somebody out. It only
Right.
takes one person.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it's the ones that give the negative or the ones that do it just to kind of show, oh, look at me.
Right.
I'm helping this homeless person. And then
Right.
they want to kind of, or like, oh, this mom couldn't, feed her family this month. So I'm buying them groceries.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And then they put them out there. People don't need to, that's shaming.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
yeah. And then
so there's
then
a
what?
difference
right?
of like helping somebody and then kind of like putting it out there as them in a shameful way and then making him they feel like they're in a better light because they're showing,
Right.
oh, I'm buying them food because
Yeah.
they can't do this. It's
And the
bad.
reality is that they're complete jerks outside of it.
Yeah,
I
no,
do
Right.
have a
100%.
really cool,
Yeah.
really good example of that. Actually, is I used to watch content that was free house cleaning.
Right.
It was
right.
kind of a similar style. You know, they go and
Right.
they clean at hoarders' houses or things like that for
Right.
free.
Yeah.
But I started to feel kind of icky about it.
Yeah,
Because of that
because-
reason,
yeah.
Because
they
of that.
started to show the dead rats under the bed and being like, "Oh, how do people live like?" And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Right. They're-
excuse
Right.
you.
They're
Yeah.
trying to, they're
That's-
exposing
see,
it.
Exactly. That's
And
shaming.
you just
yeah.
clicked that in my brain where I'm like, that is a beautiful
Yeah.
distinction.
Right.
Absolutely.
Because and they're doing it to make fun of people, and that's
Yeah.
just not it.
Yeah.
We
And-
live in this crazy world right now where things are bad. Things are
Mhm.
extremely bad. And you're helping out, but why?
Yeah.
You know, what is the why behind
what's
it?
behind- yeah.
Right. And when the why is morally sound, I just fall in love with it. It's
Mhm.
these forms of hope core you'll hear me talk about, and it makes me think about like Chef Mo, for example, who was another one, and I've recently got turned on. So do you know who Chef Mo is?
I've not heard of Chef Mo.
Jenni G, do you know Chef
I
Mo?
do not.
Okay, well, I'm
I'm
glad
gonna look all these people up though.
I'm turning you on to
Yeah.
Chef Mo.
We're
So
gonna get inspired.
Yes.
Chef Mo is a chef, and he's out of Pennsylvania. He's got this thick, strong Pennsylvania accent, but he's got this kindest heart. He's been the culinary expert and a real chef for over like 20, 25 years. So he's out here making this incredible food. And he was doing this video, and his whole world changed because he had one of his watchers, and they sent him a message like, "Hey, I want to be able to make this. Can you tell me what spice that was?" And he told her, and she said, "Okay, I'm going to make this next paycheck." And he didn't understand why. He's like, "Go make it right now." And then it clicked in him that he didn't realize his own privilege of having like cumin in a cupboard,
Yeah.
where most people are living this paycheck to paycheck, and we're all struggling because the cost of everything is skyrocketing and skyrocketed, that having that is a luxury item. And so he had this epiphany that he wanted to help, and he wanted to use his knowledge of the culinary and how to extract flavor without having to go buy a $15 or $20 spice that's going to sit on your shelf.
Yeah.
So he's helping people, and let's just stop, because this is what he does. He goes, "Before I get into this, let's stop. Food insecurity is a real thing." And he says that because it is. And if you don't think it is, then you're living in this freaking world where you're not in reality, and you're living in a world of privilege, essentially. So we're here to tell you that food insecurity is a real thing. So Chef Mo goes on to say, because of that, I'm going to show you how to feed your family for $5. The whole family, like a family of 4. At the end, he shows you the portion. He goes, if it's just 2 of you, check it out. Now you guys have lunch for tomorrow.
Yeah.
And he's painting that picture. And sometimes it's $5, sometimes it's $10. And he creates these meals. And he's doing it with so much heart, positivity, and authenticity. He made a shepherd's pie for like $5.19. Was it an actual heavy-duty shepherd's pie with the lamb? No. He did some substitutes, but he freaking made this, and it looked amazing. I was like, I would wax that whole thing. Like, seriously. And he shows you, he goes, you don't need the spice in your cupboard. It's already in this vegetable thing, or this meat dish, or this flavored rice.
Oh yeah, like a bag of steamed
Oh,
vegetables
kind
or
of like
Right.
a macaroni or something, because it has
Yeah, that's got the
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 flavor.
packets. And here's the thing, and he shows, so make it, and as it's preparing, he goes, now take a little measuring cup and just measure out like half a cup of this sauce that's in here before it's all done. We're going to save that. We're going to use that later. We're going to extract the flavor, render the fat down. He put the chicken and he put the skin, and he goes, we're going to use this skin.
Oh, the chicken fat for gravy.
Right, to render, and we're going to render it all. He's like, you don't even need it. He's like, if you got salt and pepper, now you add it. But look, if you don't, there's naturally all this stuff in here, and he teaches you.
That's
And
cool.
these guys aren't selling you a fake lifestyle
Yeah.
or toxic drama.
Yeah.
They're just using their talents to bring something good to your feed, pun intended. If you're going to let someone occupy your headspace, make it people like them. And I'll reiterate this later on. I watch their videos, and it gives me hope. It's very much a form of hope core. Someone in this room is my third person, Fern in the wild. And I wrote this. Yeah, let me hit it with the. We have a human being that's a product of the week. Fern in the Wild's page. She's an outdoor adventure and educational YouTuber. You have a YouTube channel. It's Fern in the Wild, that blends hiking vlogs with on-the-trail nature education. Her videos primarily focus on exploring the trails, mountains, and coastal regions of the Pacific Northwest, such as Oregon and Washington. Here's a brief description of what her videos typically include. On-the-trail education, as she hikes through various terrains, ranging from the lush forests of Mount Hood to the wildflower hillsides of the Columbia River Gorge. She stops along the way to identify native plants, trees, and iconic seasonal wildflowers. Conservation and ecology. This is like my favorite piece of what you do.
No.
And this is the amazing piece. We got to save our Mother Earth, right? Her videos incorporate educational segments on the local ecosystems, plant and animal conservation, and the importance of preserving natural habitats. She frequently highlights sustainable outdoor practices, reminding viewers to follow the leave no trace principles to protect the area she visits. You influenced Jenni G and I. what you and Jenni G said, what we pack in, we pack out.
Thank
I
you,
ate a candy
James.
bar. I wasn't going to just throw it on the ground, but you influenced us.
You probably stashed it a little deeper in your pocket so it wouldn't fall out, though.
I ate that entire candy bar in
Yes.
one sitting, and I loved every minute of it. It was incredible.
And you deserved it on that.
I deserved it. We went on it was like a 2-mile hike.
You deserved it.
It was all uphill though, and then downhill. It was great.
It was very beautiful.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it out there.
Yeah.
Terrain and trail showcases. Videos often feature specific scenic routes such as Lyle Cherry Orchard Wildflower Hike, Draft Creek Falls, or Timothy Lake. She shares the realities of the terrain, including navigating log scrambles, crossing massive suspension bridges, and dealing with steep inclines, making her content highly practical for fellow hikers looking to explore those regions. You recently got hurt on one, didn't you?
I did.
Oh.
Yes.
Do you want to share that? I didn't talk about this in pre-show, but it just
Yeah. I didn't actually make a video about it because
you were saving it for
Yeah,
Schaafy
yeah,
and Pop. Yeah.
yes,
no.
I was saving it just for you. I did put it in my update post recently.
Yeah.
But yes, I went to the Ape Caves up on Mount St.
Oh, I love
Helens.
Ape
Yeah,
Caves.
It was I've been there. I mean,
I've
over.
done that one.
I want to go. I've never
right?
been.
Yeah.
I've been there
Oh.
over a dozen
Road
times.
trip.
Yes.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, I've never been.
It's so fun.
It looks amazing.
So there's two parts. There's the lower part, which is accessible kind of to more family friendly, not as many
Right.
scrambles and nothing crazy. And
Caves
then-
for the kids.
Yes, and
Yeah.
then
Got
there's
it.
the upper section, which brings you up and out of the cave, up
Yeah.
to the top, and it's about 1.5 miles.
Okay.
And there's a lot of rock scrambles. There's a rock wall you have to climb.
Yeah.
It's a little more strenuous. You don't really see
Right.
kids or elderly people down there. But we just started our trek up to the upper section before any of the scrambles, anything, and I step right into a hole.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You
that's
might be
easy
able
to do in
see
there.
right
Yeah.
here. You might be able to see
Yeah.
the bruises from over
Mm.
there. But
Put your leg up in the camera for the listeners
they
at
don't
home.
get to
Did
see
Yeah, no.
Did they put the
Yeah.
rope back?
What was
Do
that?
they put the rope back?
No,
to
there's
climb the
no,
wall?
no.
So the first
they're
two
stacking
times I
rocks
went,
now.
I did that.
Mm.
There was a rope, so you could
That
pull
would be
yourself on the
very
rope to
nice.
climb up and over.
No, they're stacking rocks now, so you can get to the footholds
Oh.
to get up.
Yeah, so
Oh.
the
'Cause-
last time I
yeah.
went, there wasn't the rope there, and
It's
I was
it's
like,
about
I
an
don't know how I'm
8
going to get up there without
Right.
that rope.
It's an 8-foot rock wall that has
Nice.
1 foothold, and it's pretty impossible. But
Yeah.
so it was way before that. It was just crazy, and so yeah, I'd hit my say this is my foot. I hit right here on my ankle,
Right.
and then it slid. Just the ledge slid up
Right.
my leg.
Up your
It
leg.
could have been so much worse.
Yeah.
Right.
If I was wearing anything but my hiking boots, I probably would have snapped
Right.
my ankle.
Oh.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
just
the
from
key.
Yeah.
The ledge hit right on
Yeah.
my ankle. It was just it
Yeah.
would have been
And I've
so bad.
watched a ton of your videos. You're constantly expressing the need for the proper equipment, and it doesn't have to be this fancy, fashionable, etc. It's just you need something that is going to be worthy of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Always be prepared. And overall, your channel, offers a peaceful, informative, and visually scenic experience that encourages viewers to appreciate and conserve the natural world. If you're going to let someone, remember I said I was going to reiterate this. If you're going to let someone occupy your headspace, make it people like Fern or Chef Mo or SB Mowing. I watch your videos. It gives me hope. It's very much a form of hope core. Fern, I need to ask you, as a first guest who is also the product of the week, did I do your channel justice with that summary? Is that
Oh, it's such an honor. I'm happy to be the first product/guest of the week.
it's like when you go on SNL and you host it, but then you're also the musical guest.
Oh,
love it.
yeah.
That's the correlation. That's like what it
I
is.
love that.
Well,
So,
thank you. I really
yeah.
do appreciate that. I try really hard to make my content more than just look at this pretty trail. I want to help
Right.
people feel like they can do hard things too. They
Right.
can do what they never thought they could do,
Yeah.
and give them hopefully some tips and tricks to not only be safe out there, but to learn and appreciate nature around them. Because I
Yeah.
feel personally that when you understand something, like you just can feel so much deeper about it. Like,
Right.
the more I learn about ecology and the forest and dynamics involved in forest ecology, it just makes me fall in love deeper with it. So
Right.
I'm trying to really bring that to other people in a way that's palatable's the wrong word, but that they can understand and
Sure.
really appreciate.
They
Yeah.
they can anybody can
Yeah.
process what you're given. It's not just about the informative piece because your videos are so informative. I'm like, does Fern speak Latin? Because like you will put like the Latin word for the flora and the fauna.
Oh, Schaafy, do you want to know a secret?
Yes.
This is a Schaafy.
Is this
Schaafy
a
I love
Schaafy?
it. I love it.
secret. I am horrible at scientific names.
Oh,
Horrible. I am
Oh.
trying to learn as I teach.
right.
I have little mnemonics. Is that what it's called? Mnemonics in your head to try and remember the
Yes,
the most popular ones.
Right,
Oh,
right.
okay.
Like if an example is like a Pacific dogwood, a Pacific dogwood tree.
Yep.
The Latin is Cornus natali, and I think
Oh.
of a corn dog dipped in Nutella.
I love
Oh,
that.
Cornus
Yeah.
natali.
that's freaking
I love it.
genius.
So I am not good with scientific names. I'm trying really hard to learn,
Yeah.
but I'm also trying to learn as I teach. Which
Yeah.
is another
Yeah.
important aspect of my channel is I'm not a know all be all. I'm not the end of backpacking. I'm just getting
Yeah.
started.
Well, you're an incredible role model for
Oh,
one.
thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
I
So
want
Everybody
people
look at
to-
Fern.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
You know
Yeah.
what's funny? Somebody's going to be like, that's one of the biggest dogwoods I've ever seen. And I go, yeah, the corn dog Nutella. Oh, that's going to be the thingy. I'm going to tell them.
Corn
And they're going to be
dog-
like, what? I was like, that's the Latin term of it. Corn
Yeah.
dog Nutella.
I
Look
really
it up.
hope you remember that. It'll make my heart really
I'm
happy.
going to. And then when somebody says, I'm going to say that's the Latin term, look it up. And they're going to look it up.
It's
And they're going to be
Cornus natali.
Yeah.
and I was like, and I'm going to gaslight them and be like, what did you think that's what I said. What
That's
did you
what
think
I
I said? You
said.
said corn dog Nutella. Why would I say corn dog Nutella?
That's just silly.
Yeah. What are you, stupid or something? Yeah. And that's
Potato,
how I flip
potato.
it.
Yeah. So that's a secret that my channel does not know about me.
Oh,
I love
well, you
that.
heard it here first, folks. Make sure you follow Fern in the Wild.
Yes.
Go on.
Subscribe
But-
and follow.
So when I think about like the changes that I've had to make to kind of wrap up these three amazing influencers that we see that are actually doing great things, it hits on these three things that I had to do to change my life. I had to really just clean up my act, and that's kind of the correlation for SB mowing. Clean up your environment. I that if you would have came here 3 years ago, there would be no lights on in here. Everything would be dark, and I'd be hiding away eating a cheeseburger somewhere. In the dark, not wanting to go outside, not wanting to show my face, and that's kind of a form of cleaning my life. One of the first things cleaning it up, what I did is I started mowing my own lawn. I started opening up all the windows. I started letting light in and getting back out and going out there. The second thing is I changed my diet and my workout habits, etc. So I literally had to change. Yes, I still love cheeseburgers. It's my favorite food. I just don't eat them every single day. I'm cooking a lot more. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna start making, because I hope Chef Mo makes a recipe book that I keep seeing in the comments. Like, dude, you should make a recipe book with this. And he's like, it's in the works, right? So, but I'm gonna start making these $5 meals because he extracts the nutrition from it. He shows you why it's healthy, and it's incredible. And then one of the biggest things that I love about what your channel brings is not just the information, it's the activity. It's the getting up, getting out, and go climbing a freaking hill.
Yeah.
Go out and walk around your house. Get active.
Yeah.
Put on your hiking boots and go make a positive case for change in your life, because you got to stop letting other people control you. And I know it's so tough and we get sad and we're depressed, but if you can follow and take any inspiration from us, go watch this and get up and do something. Make yourself a healthy meal on the cheap. Go and mow your lawn. Go and take a hike. Send the show some pictures. Let us know what we're doing. And that's what we want to bring. Stop letting other people control you. And with that just amazingness, I want to pass that over for Jenni. I'm like, I just got super inspirational. Jenni, now you go. And we have Jenni's Corner. As we know, we have this great segment. Everybody wants a little piece of Jenni G. So let me hit our kind of makeshift theme song that I came up with. Jenni's Corner. I love that.
I love it.
Yeah, I love
We're
it.
actually gonna add that too. I love it.
Yeah.
But I'm actually gonna piggyback on our conversation that we just had, and I'm gonna say, be the change you want to see, which is what pretty much Fern is.
Ooh.
So great example, but pretty much, yeah, like be who you want to be, and yeah, I don't know. Just all I can say is just be the change you want to see. Like everybody, I
I
feel
love
like
that.
wants to like have an opinion, but show it as well. Like
Mm-hmm.
so,
And that's hard. The hardest part is the doing it part.
Yeah.
The hardest part is the motivation is to get up and do the thing. For
yeah,
sure.
yeah. But seeing, honestly, if you're talking about like the chef and the guy mowing the lawn, that I feel like when people watch those kind of videos, it kind of inspires them as well to kind of get out and help other people out too.
Yes.
think
It's kind of
that's-
like when you open a door for somebody and you walk in, you hold the door, and then as they're walking out, they're holding a door for somebody else.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
kind of like a continued. They did like the whole-
Snowball
exactly
effect.
where people are buying people coffee in the drive-through.
Yeah.
You know,
get
Pay
like
it
one
one
forward.
person
Paying it
Pay it
forward.
forward.
One person buys a coffee, then the next thing you know,
Yeah.
then all day like nobody's paying for their own coffee.
I love it.
Absolutely.
So-
And,
That's
you know,
beautifully said, Jenny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's really important.
Yeah, it's about giving them the tools to resist the pressure before they're standing in the fire. If you're somebody who's heavily influenced by other people, you need to find the tools to stop that,
Yeah.
right? Because we just know that's what's going to happen. I think that was a great Jenny's Corner.
Mm-hmm.
It goes Jenny's fucking corner. I love that. That's our show. That's what we got. That's it. No, because to stick around after the theme song, because we're gonna hit the people are talking segment. Schaafy's gonna get real. He's gonna sum it all together. But other than that, we nailed that show like a split hog. It just felt great. What was that?
love
Pew
it.
pew.
I love it.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Unpopular opinion, that's the name of the show. Hosted by Schaafy and Jenni G, don't you know? We'll have a heart-to-heart, so tune in and subscribe. It's unpopular opinion and a hell of a vibe. Love it or dislike it, it's all just the same. Because unpopular opinion is there in the name.
People are talking about people. They see us coming. Blah, 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 blah. I want to talk about wrapping this all together. Look around us today. We're living in a society that is literally addicted to influencers, addicted to fame, addicted to validation, to sex, drugs, alcohol, and rock and roll. Everything is about the quick hit, the trend, and what looks good on screen. It's exhausting just looking at it. It really is. So the ultimate unpopular opinion and the challenge we want to leave with you today is to be genuine. Be the person who doesn't need the applause. Be the person who can step back from the noise. Be the uninfluenceable when it comes to your core values. Stop chasing the high of what everyone else thinks is cool. Wake up, look in the mirror, figure out who you are, and dance to your own damn beat. Thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to check out Fern in the Wild, SB Mowing, and Chef Mo. Have those tough conversations with your kids, and above all, stay true to you. Until the next time, I'm Schaafy. On behalf of Jenni G and Fern, stay kind, stay yourself, and most importantly, stay unpopular. Please follow us on Instagram at SchaafyUnpop or email your unpopular opinions to SchaafyUnpop@gmail.com. We might just use it on the show. And that's all we got. Bye.
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 Bye. Okay, bye.
I gotta hit the button.
Okay, bye.
I hit the button.
Okay, bye.
And of course, again, Dustin is okay. He didn't actually jump through the window. That was our joke. Bye.
Disclaimer. Bye.